All right, kids, here we go. We're going to talk about what a right angle is, okay? So what I've done here is I've kind of cut this piece out here. It shows you what an angle would look like. So a right angle is this angle right here, all right? See that I'm tracing it with my finger? All right, it's almost like that perfect corner you see in the corner of papers and things like that, all right? So that's what a right angle is. It's just one of those things where you see it in the corners of paper. Your teachers are going to hand out to you an index card, all right? Index card that looks much like this one, all right? And if I see this index card, it's got a lot going on there, all right? It's got 4 squares here. You see the corners of these pieces of paper? 4 corners, just like that, or vertices. But each corner is a special kind of corner. It's a right angle, right? So if I try to place this piece into the corner, you notice that it fits in perfect, all right? Something satisfying about it, all right? So a right corner is something that, if they come in perfectly, like a corner of a piece of paper. You notice these things everywhere, all around you, all right? Just take a look. So teachers, pause the video right now and have the kids take a look around the room. See if they can spot any right angles that are perfectly done in a corner like that, all right? Take some time and look around now. So teachers, pause now. All right, I hope that you found some right angles in the room. I mean, I'm sitting here in my office and I see my TV. It's got 4 right angles, right? I see the corners of the room have right angles. I see my windows and the mullions on those windows have got right angles. I'm looking at the floorboards and the tiles in the ground. It's got right angles. There's right angles everywhere, all right? So right angles are super important, and they're everywhere around us, okay? So now that you've got your piece of paper like this, teachers are now going to hand out the next piece of paper that I forgot to put into your packet. So it looks like this. It's called the Lesson 2 template. All right, so teachers, take some time and pass that out now. All right, so hopefully you're back and you're ready to go. All right, so what we're gonna do is test our right angle thing, all right? So you're gonna have your piece of paper like this, all right? So you might want to take a highlighter and like highlight the edges so you can see that a little bit better. I know like if I take a highlighter like this and I just decide I'm going to use this side, this angle, right? This will be one of my sides, and then this will be the other side, right? Where that is. So notice I just highlighted that right there, and you can see that's a perfect right angle. I'm gonna get in the habit of using just that side, okay? You could use a yellow marker, even a lighter colored marker, something like a pink or something like that as well. It would work for this, okay? So if you want to take some time, you can pause this and do that, okay? So what we're gonna do is take a look. We're gonna test these out. The first thing we do is we wanna try to fit, I wanna take a mental guess. I wanna take a look at, this is angle A. I want to take a look at angle A and ask myself, is that a right angle? And my answer there is, I think so. I think it's a right angle, or it's very close to being a right angle. So I need to, let's see, I can tilt my paper around like that and stuff. I'm going to tilt it so I see a flat, that arrow is kind of flat right here, this ray. And I'm going to kind of slide it in like that and check. Yep. And I notice that fits in there perfectly, doesn't it? Fits in there just like that. And I can tell that is a right angle. So that's what I'm going to label it. I'm going to say, yep, A is a right angle. I'm going to write down yes. Okay? That's a right angle. Okay? All right. So we're going to check out B here and see what B's all about. And what we got to do is get into that vertex of it, okay? So we're going to say, let's see. Here, I'm looking at this one. Does that look like a perfect angle, right angle to you? Doesn't to me either. Yeah. It looks like if I choose this line, let me change the angle of my paper, and I put this right in there like that. see how the line is nice and even along the bottom here, but it disappears behind my paper here, right? This upper one. That means this is less than a right angle, okay? This angle right here is less than a right angle. So I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna say less than. And what do we call angles that are less than? Well, we're gonna teach you that right now. Less than angles are called acute angles. All right? Less than a right angle, it's called an acute angle. So I'm gonna circle that like that, all right? If you remember from our I can statement, all right? We learned what a right angle is. It's like perfect corners that you see on the corners of paper, right? They come in just like that. And now we're determining whether the angles that we're looking at on our template are greater than, less than, or greater than or less than right angles. Now, we just learned that less than right angles are called acute angles, all right? So let's check out the next one. Whoops. I look at this one, and if I tilt this so I can take a look at it, this looks a little bigger, doesn't it? Doesn't it look a little bigger than a right angle? Let me get that in there and check it out. You do the same as I do. And there. Cool. So what do we think? Yeah, you see how this bottom line is perfectly lined up. The corner goes right directly inside the vertice right there, okay? Right smack in the middle. And then as this one comes up, see how it goes away from the side of the paper? That means it's greater than. It means it's greater than a right angle. So I'm gonna write down here greater than. And what do we call angles that are greater than a right angle? If you remember, shout it out. It's called obtuse. O-B-T-U-S-E. And that is an obtuse. So we've done everything so far on our I can statement. We found out what a right angle is. We look for right angles within our room that we're sitting in, okay? We're now measuring to check to see if angles are right angles. We found a right angle, okay? And right angles are just called right angles. Less than right angles are called acute. Greater than are called obtuse, all right? So what I'd like you to do is now try this on your own. And teachers, you can do this with them or you can let them go off on their own, but give it a shot on your own. And come back and we're gonna go over the answers, all right? So I'm gonna pause the video now, and you should too, teachers, and come back when they're finished. All right, well, I hope that you had some fun doing this and you had some good discussions with your teacher or even with the classmates around you and how to manipulate this. So what I'm gonna do is show you row by row. We saw yes, right angle. This one was less than a right angle, which is acute. This one was greater than a right angle, which is obtuse. Okay, so let's take a look. Next row. ICD was less than, right? Acute angle. If I get that and put right in the center of that vertice, it hides behind my paper. It's cute. E was a yes. See how it fits right in there perfectly, right? And then I've got F. F was less than. It was an acute. So this one I had to really turn. It was like the angle's going the opposite way. So I had to turn my whole card around. Get that right into the vertice. Line one of my rays up with the edge and notice that the other ray disappears behind. So it's an acute, okay? Acute angle. G was an absolute yes. That fit in perfectly, see that? Yeah, just like that. Really helps when you highlight the edge. Then I came down here and look at, I have 3 obtuse angles in a row. And I'm gonna measure where you see that arc. So I measure this one. I don't even have to use my paper. See how it comes along here? I can tell that that's just gonna be way outside, right? It's gonna be way larger. It's almost like kind of like open up a book, you know what I mean? If I'm opening up a book this way, when it gets past the right angle, it's greater, okay? And then look at this one, it's almost a straight line. I had to turn my whole paper this way. And I lined up this side here and did it this way. And I can see, man, that's just way wider. I could also have done it this way, right? Line up this side and see that it's just way past my right angle there. This one was close, but again, it was greater. If I line up one of the edges there, I can see that it drifts away from my edge. It doesn't hide, so it's an obtuse angle. I could even do it off of this line, and I can see, yeah, it goes away from the edge, so it's obtuse. All right, so you'll notice these angles all around the room too. You know, and during the day today, teachers, when you're walking through the hallways and such, just, you know, think out loud. Talk to the kids about what kind of angles they see, obtuse, acute, and right angles while they're walking down the hallway. I bet they'll pop out to you like a little. They'll just pop right out to you and slap you in the eyeballs and say, "Hey, look at me, I'm at right angle." All right. So good job today in this. What we're gonna do next is move on to our problem set. Hang tight.